Please like, comment, and subscribe.
You can accelerate how you work out your karma. The exciting potential for anyone in the process of awakening is that you can basically finish your karmic curriculum for this lifetime. Because when you are on autopilot, which, you are most of the time, most people are. As I've talked about, the human body and brain is designed to be on autopilot 100% of the time. So, if you can start by not being on autopilot 0.1% of the time, that's great. And then you increase it to maybe 1%. And I think for any human to reach 10% is a miracle. If you get there, you should be extremely happy with yourself, and I'll buy you a cake. So, but it's like, because a lot of the autopilots, they can take care of the maintenance of the body in your life and all that, so that's fine. But to work out more karma, you need to drive, you need to be behind the wheel, because your incarnation has a default setting. It's basically the karma that's been programmed. And when I talk about this, I call it kind of the default or the demo version of your video game, right? It's like you can take part in your own life, but it's all pre-programmed. So you're like a passenger. You're just like visiting the video game. You'll be pulled through the most basic things, and it's public education. It's that. It's very basic. It's all of that. You can speed up things. You can take charge, which means that you lift yourself to a different level. And just like in a video game, often you have beginners levels, and then you get more advanced until you're on expert level, which means you have so many more opportunities. You can also score more points. But it means you need to master the previous levels for that version of the video game to be available to you. And this is also how a lifetime works. You demonstrate each second what type of consciousness you're in, and the video game will adjust to that. So when you're on autopilot completely, that will be the default setting of this lifetime. When you are aware, it opens up. You will be exposed to other laws of nature, other possibilities. The space will be different. Your landscape will expand and contain other things, other possibilities, because when you then leave the default setting, you can start exploring, and you will find things that are definitely not in the default setting. Because the autopilot will only work based on previous experience and your pain points that you have not resolved yet. So that will be your future. So awakening spiritually means the video game gets more advanced, which means you can't do it on autopilot. But you also have more opportunities. And this is where it starts to get interesting and fun. That you can start, playing with your karma. You can change what you study, because based on where you are in your level of awakening, you can say, well, I want to go in that direction now. You can only go in that direction because now the video game has expanded, so that is actually part of what is available to you. And this is the challenge. We all know this. We want so much to go beyond our habits. Oh, I want to be spiritual. I want to be awake. That's nice, dear, but our habits, we love them. They control us. That's part of the autopilot thing. It's so difficult. And yet, that's exactly what we need to do. We need to train and practice and figure out, how can we possibly go beyond this level? Habits, programmings, all of that. True spiritual awakening and growth is not something we can fake, does not respond to our fantasies, beliefs, or hopes. It's simply what you vibrate. What is your active state of consciousness? And this physical reality will respond to your consciousness several times per second. So whenever you have micro adjustments in your consciousness, your outer world will reflect that immediately. And it doesn't mean that, the planet does not exist, that it only exists based on where you're at. It's just like in the video game, it's already part of the software. It's there, but it's not part of what you can interact with. So you can look at the world and say, whoa, the whole world is here. I can do whatever I want. And then you do exactly what you did yesterday. In your own little world, moving in the same patterns, the same habits, the same everything. So it means it's not available to you because you're not utilizing it. The rest of the world is just a fantasy to you. It does exist, but it doesn't exist in your world. It only exists in your world when you have activated it. Just like it exists in the software, but it's not part of your reality. Your consciousness will have to change, will have to wake up. You need to have the intention of working out your karma. And how do we work out our karma? By attacking our habits. Because our habits and programmings, they are the very manifestation of our karmic patterns. So we repeat. So we have to learn to be creative. Often when people say, oh, I'm so creative, what they mean is that they just do the same thing, but in a different way. That's not being creative. It's doing something that you've never done before. Like, channeling in something new. That is opening the video game. Building new skills. Doing something that is out of character. Experiment more and to kind of build that whole landscape. Because often we sit there and we know, oh, I should have done that. Oh, yes, I totally know I should have done that. And then we leave it at that thought. Not having done anything, but because we think that, oh, I should have done it, then we can feel a little bit guilty, and then we think that's actually doing it, because at least I feel guilty. And then we just continue. Actualizing where you are, what you're doing, what choices you're making in this moment, that's how you do it. Break out of habits. Explore. Always try to learn. Always try to go past the ego, the self, your needs, all of that. Life will show you. It's not like life is not showing you. It's that we are at war with it.